Hello, everybody. Hope everyone's having a good day. This is a continuation of yesterday's stream, which was my first time live streaming on YouTube, and I thought it was kind of fun. So today, what we're doing is continuing what we were doing yesterday, which was basically proofreading and editing this piece that I just finished up. And today, what I'm planning to do is send it to the publishing software that I use to package the final book and then put it up on my website because I want to have it out today. So that's what we're doing. And I figured that I would stream this as well because it's kind of fun and I have to do this anyway. So, Universal Meditation. Yes, good day. Nice to see you, Universal Meditation. Glad you're here. Okay. You should see my screen now. This is the same piece we were looking at. I'm not going to look at the score again, but this is the full part. So I'm going to go straight into it. I'm going to move over to engrave mode so that we can get real nitty gritty. If you're unfamiliar with Brico, these little boxes here with these percentages, those represent how filled up the system is. And if it goes over, for example, if I send this measure back to the previous system, Dorico now considers this system overfilled and it has a red square here and it's over 100%. And so that's basically telling me that this is too stuffed up. So it's starting to squish things in a less than ideal way. And the way you alter that is in your layout options, Shift Command L, I believe you can show off like what your ideal distances are or how big everything should be, staves and systems. So let's get rid of that change that I made. And so we don't want systems over full. And then this down here at the bottom, this percentage over here is telling me how much the overall page is filled. So we want it less than 100%, but maybe more than 80%, just so that the page doesn't look so empty. So at first glance, that page looks fine to me. Second page also is looking good. Nothing's bothering me. Maybe that... No. Just browsing through here, looking at each little system to see if there's anything weird that jumps out at me, if this is perfectly readable for anybody looking at this for the first time. Nothing looks too squished, which is good. So this looks decent. Okay, another consideration of looking at parts is how the player will be able to turn the page if they need to while they're playing. So looking at this, this right here, there are 2 measures of rest before it goes into A. And so that would give a player time to move to the next page. And I'm okay with that. But then over here, these 16th notes continue moving and moving on to the next page. And if a person were playing this, they wouldn't be able to turn the page in the middle like that. But presumably they would have 2 pages side by side. The issue again arises over here, where all these sextuplets appear, and then it's like that. These sextuplets continue on to this page, but this part is just too busy. I can't imagine a way that this would be unavoidable. So I'm going to leave it like that and trust whoever's playing to figure it out. Oh, this right here, I was also debating, does that F need to be in that staff? Maybe it can. Or can these notes be in the treble staff? Let me see what it's like in the score. In Dorico, if you hit the key W, it'll take you, like if I have this note selected and I hit W, it takes me to that selection in the part. And if I hit W again, it takes me to that selection in the score, which is super useful to jump back and forth. Okay, I think I'll have it like that. So let's move these notes back up to the staff. And then move the dynamic in its appropriate place. Okay. Doing that shifted a few things on the pages. Let's go back to engrave mode to see what we're doing. All good, all good. Should this, no, I'll leave it like that. This, according to Dorico, and it looks that way also, 99.9% filled with this system. And it almost looks kind of squished. I would probably want to find a way to avoid this, i.e. like move this measure to the next system or something like that. So I just moved it to the next system and that opened up this. That means that this entire page means that there's only 2 measures per system, which I think is fine. It also seems like it created a new page. No, wait, did it? Actually, I prefer that it has the last page have more music, because it doesn't seem like there's enough room on this page to have these last 2 system, or at least last 2 measures on there without it looking squished. So let's do that. Let's move this measure down to this system here. And if I turn on the signpost, you can see that Dorico inserted a system break lock right here on this measure, and the system break lock right here in this measure, so that this entire system stays in place. And so the next measure is forced to this next system. But I like it. I don't mind it. Moving right along. All looks good, all looks good. Should this stuff be I think I'll keep it like this. Yeah. Looks like it forced some things back. Whoops. Yeah. Okay. Doing that change shifted things a little bit, but everything still looks within the range that I wanted to look. Everything looks good to me. Oh, does this need to be... Should this be back? Actually, was it? Yeah. What do we think of that look? I think it looks fine. I talked about this yesterday. Some of these fingerings I want over the stem rather than over the note head. It just makes it a little too askew, like maybe a little confusing at first glance. So let's see. In engrave mode, I'm going to manually move these. How can I do that? So we're going to offset its position by a tiny, tiny bit. Is that aligned? Yeah. And then we'll do the same thing with this one. Oops. Okay, that looks good to me. Let's close that. I see another one over here. That one is too low. So let's move it back. If in the future I'm able to do it, this is 100% something that I would delegate. Like I would hire somebody to do exactly what I'm doing right now. Not because I dislike doing it. I don't dislike doing it. It's just that since I'm the one who wrote this, I spend so much time just staring at the same things over and over again that I get just so used to the way something looks. And then I miss things, and they always pop up after everything's been completed. Okay, so that was a pass through the whole marimba one part. And I think I'm happy with it. Fortunately, there's only two parts in this piece. So let's move on to the marimba 2. Oh, I see some fingerings that look a little weird. Let's fix that. Okay, this one. Down into the side. Yeah, the spacing looks natural there to me. Okay. All good, all good. Shao. Hi, Ernesto. Hello. Glad you're here. How's everybody's day going so far today, wherever you may be in the world? Hope it's going well. Mine is going um, pretty smoothly. It's an overcast day. It's pretty cloudy, which is fine. It's just not very bright in here, and I don't have a light to like really get me. It's so snowy here. Where I live, it's very rare that we get snow. And in fact, if there is snow, there's probably like um, the end of the world is upon us if it snows where I am. But I like the snow. Last year, my family and I visited Colorado to go skiing in the mountains, and it was very, very lovely there. Um, I really enjoy the snow. And what we're doing here, by the way, I am going through this piece that I've written, and I've finished writing it, or at least I'm as done as I can allow myself to be. And I'm going through and proofreading everything and doing what I dub engraving, which is making sure that everything looks good so that whoever looks at this for the first time isn't confused or has any doubts about my decisions. Okay, so looking at this, Dorico is telling me that this page right here is overfilled with this 101.6%. And I think what it's doing is maybe this measure right here is what's causing it. But Dorico wants the beginning of this rehearsal marking to be here so that a player knows it's there. But what if I move this measure to the next page? Okay, this last system looks fine, but this looks a little squished, like a little squished together. It did fix this right here. This decrescendo is colliding with this rehearsal mark right here, and I don't want that. So instead of that, what if we have this measure on the next system? Still don't like the way that looks. How about this measure in the next page? Okay, that looks better. Dorico is saying that this page is now 100% filled. And it looks good to me. There's a lot of information on here on the page, but it's not like too overwhelming to the eye. Okay, I think we'll leave it like that. This looks okay. Oops. So I have this crescendo and then a forte, but this forte was down here. And I don't think I like that the crescendo and the dynamic here are that they're detached from each other. I think I'll leave it like that. Okay, this all looks fine to me. Okay, this looks good. Just one final look at the full score. I think that's okay. The marimba 1 part, marimba 2. Yep, all looking good. Okay. So what the final process for me would be is I'm going to export this audio because this will be the thing that I do. And I have a folder here for my publishing company. So I have a folder for my catalog. The name of the piece is Owl of Athena, so I have a folder for it. I'm going to make a new folder inside of here called audio, and that's where we're going to export the audio to. So I'm going to wait for it to do that. And then this will be the audio file that I upload along with the rest of the piece once I put it up on my website so that someone can listen to it before they commit to it. Okay, seems to have exported. Now I'm going to go into print mode, and here's where we're going to export our stuff. So we're going to export as a graphics file, as a PDF, and then we're going to go into catalog again, and we're going to export it into a folder called Score and Parts PDFs. Actually, before I do that, let me go back to setup mode and just make sure everything looks good. Okay. Go back to here. Destination folder, Twin Drummer Publishing, Catalog, Owl of Athena, Score and Parts PDFs. Normal, all. Just making sure all the settings are correct. And here's the thing that I like to do. So as the file name option, I like the number, like the way it's supposed to be numbered, what the part is, and then the title of the thing at the end. So that'll be okay. So it'll name each file as such. I'll hit export. I'm going to overwrite a file that I already had in that folder because I want to replace it. And boom. Okay, so these are all the pieces I have in my catalog. Score and Parts PDF. And here they are, all exported. Cool. Now, what I'm going to do is open up the publishing software that I use, which is called Affinity Publisher. Now, this software is a desktop publishing application, which basically lets me create a package for whatever I want to use it for. In this case, I'm going to use it to make the final book that the score is going to live in. So basically what I'll do is I have the title page. This is a cover that I made in Affinity Photo, which is by the same company that makes this software, but it's like a Photoshop type software. So I made this cover in there, and this is the first page of my book. And then I'm going to have another cover, another page, and this is going to have the instrumentation information Um, Copyright information, and I'll have my publishing logo in there, some credits, stuff like that. This page is for program notes and performance notes. And then what I'm going to do now, up here in document, I can add pages from a file. I'm in the right folder, Owl of Athena, score and parts, and I'm going to select the full score. There it is. After page 3, okay. And so it just imported the entire score along with these first 3 pages that I added for my project. Okay, so everything's in here. As you can see, I've written in a few performance notes, like things that I want people to consider when working on this. I haven't settled on one specific style of like the fonts that I use and the size of the text and all of that stuff. Eventually I'll come on like a specific thing that I want to stick with, but this is what it is for now. Okay, so instead of doing this page from scratch, let me open a different let me open a previous project that does have that information already in there. How about Snowfall Serenade? Okay. So this information right here is what I'm talking about. So I'm going to copy this text box and paste it onto here. I'm going to copy this logo, paste it onto here. Change this to the correct year, 2023. Let me see what this looks like in a different font. Like I said, I haven't settled on one specific one yet. Okay, I like it. And then the instrumentation was on this page. Oops. So let me copy this, paste it onto, it's supposed to be over here. The duration is about 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Marimba 1, marimba 2. Okay, so that has the information that I sort of want. I also need to, actually, let me open up, yeah. Let me open up Affinity Photo just to get this text out of the cover and to put it on to here. I'm just going to have basically this information again, but over here. So this is the project. And let me select all this text, copy it, and see how it looks pasted over here. Okay, now what I don't want are these gold effects. I also want it to be just straight up black. Same with this, no effects. I'm just opening up this little effects dialog and turning off all of the designs that I made. And this should be black as well. Same with my name here. And the year, no effects. Black color. No effects. Black color. Now let's organize this. We'll have this roughly where it is on the thing. Now my name and the year don't have to be this big for this title page. Okay, that's looking good. This cover art was not outsourced. So I'll just put that information empty, close this. Okay. So this is what the final product will look like. I think I want this to be the same. Should this instrumentation thing be underlined or italic? Actually, I don't mind the way that looks. Okay, looking good. What's everyone think? Yeah, looking good to me. Now I have to write the program notes. And I think what I've started doing with this is just writing like how the piece goes. So, and maybe also a little information on why it's titled that way. So let me write something. So there's a reason that I named this Owl of Athena, and let me write out the reason here. I'll just start writing and then I'll edit it afterwards. This piece is titled so. Teaching a for a competition. While we were warming up outside, I noticed a great owl fly above us in the twilight. Just to make sure twilight means what I think it means. The soft glowing light from when the sun is below the horizon. Cool. I noticed a great owl fly above us in the twilight. When looking for a title for this piece, I remembered the ancient Greek goddess Athena, who is said to have had an owl at her side at all times, to protect her. Athena was known as the goddess of strategy and battle. And it was said that if an owl flew over an army before they went to war, they would succeed in their endeavors. Something like that. They would succeed in their endeavors. To me, the owl flying over us was a sign that we would do well before our, quote, battle. The students ended up performing incredibly well. Okay, enough of that paragraph. Owl of Athena. Owl of Athena. Begins with a 16th note-based theme, harmonically heavy with the perfect fifth. Perfect fifths, something like that. Note-based theme that is harmonically heavy with the perfect fifths. This theme develops. What else does it do? This theme develops as 16th notes continue to occur behind a new theme played by the marimba 1 player. The constant 16th notes give us an unrelenting momentum until we arrive at a slower, pensive moment with both marimbas playing soft rolls. After this, the rhythms become faster until as the material develops further, this is until the what? Until material from the beginning. This is until the themes from the beginning come back to this is until the themes from the beginning come back in quicker variations. One more paragraph. The use of fifths, the use of perfect intervals, such as fifths and fourths, gives the feeling of an ancient sound or a noble, a feeling, gives the feeling of a noble and ancient sound, which is evocative of the regality of an owl and the wisdom of Athena. Is regality a word? Yes, it is, regality. The state of being a king or queen, the demeanor or dignity appropriate to a king or queen. Yes, okay. And the wisdom of Athena. Okay, let's leave it at that for now. This font may not be it. Another one I like to use is Georgia, but the problem with Georgia is it's one of those fonts that's used a lot. So it's like Papyrus or Comic Sans, where it's just, you see it so often that it's kind of become eh. And just so everything's consistent, let's move this back to Georgia. This should be Georgia. Oops. Georgia and Georgia. And then the fonts of the title is something else, something more appropriate. I think the spacing between the lines needs to be a little higher. Where do I fix that? Here. Okay, that looks better. Now let me reread what I just wrote because it could be just nonsense. Okay, program notes. Owl of Athena is a marimba duet written to be a flashy yet accessible duo for a concert setting. It is not a duo, it is a duet, right? Duo. Are you going to have ChatGPT review the program notes? Maybe I should. Maybe I should. I could ask it to make it clearer, more concise. I don't need it to be more concise. Well, maybe I do. Let me read through it first, and then we'll see if we need help from the robots. Okay. Owl of Athena is a marimba duet written to be a flashy yet accessible duo for a concert setting. This piece is titled so. This piece is titled the story behind the title of this piece goes that the story behind the title of this piece goes that I was teaching a marching band front ensemble before a competition, before an important band competition. While we were warming up outside, I noticed a great owl fly above us in the twilight, fly over us in the twilight. When looking for a title for this, when considering a title for this piece, when searching, when looking, when searching, when considering, when looking for a title for this piece, I remembered the ancient Greek goddess Athena. The ancient Greek goddess Athena, who is said to have had an owl at her side at all times to protect her. Athena was known as the goddess of strategy and battle, and it was said that if an owl flew over an army before they went to war, they would succeed in their endeavors. To me, the owl flying over us was a sign that we would do well before our battle. The students ended up performing the best they had. The students ended up performing the best they had done up to that point in the season. Owl of Athena begins with a 16th note based theme that is harmonically heavy with perfect fifths. This theme develops as 16 notes continue to occur behind a new theme played by the marimba 1 player. The constant 16 notes give us an unrelenting momentum until we arrive at a slower, pensive moment, with both marimbas playing soft rolls. After this, the rhythms become faster as the material develops further. This is until the themes from the beginning come back in quicker variations to end the piece. The use of perfect intervals such as fifths and fourths gives the feeling of a noble and ancient sound, which is evocative of the regality of an owl and the wisdom of Athena. What do you think, Universal Meditation? Should we consult the AI gods, perhaps? The robots? Yes. Okay. Let's try it. So let me just copy this, and in a separate tab, let me open up ChatGPT. What should I say? Review these program notes for a piece I'm about to publish. Okay. This is ChatGPT's advice to me. So I just told it to review the program notes that I came up with, and it likes what I did up until consider expanding on specific musical elements or techniques employed in the piece, such as unique rhythmic patterns, melodic motifs, or textural changes. Additionally, if there are any notable challenges or interesting aspects of the marimba writing, it could be beneficial to mention them to give performers and listeners further insights into the intricacies of the composition. Overall, your program notes provide a solid foundation, but you might enhance them by delving into more detailed musical analysis and addressing potential points of interest performers and audiences alike. I think that's very sound advice. Um, Here, I'll show this off on screen. Let's see. Can you rewrite it for me? Certainly. Here's a revised version of your program notes. Let's see what I came up with. Owl of Athena is a marimba duet crafted to captivate audiences with its vibrant flair while remaining accessible for concert settings. Sort of. The piece draws inspiration from a serendipitous encounter with a majestic owl during a crucial rehearsal for a marching band competition. I like the way you put that. As the owl soared overhead in the twilight, its presence resonated with the ancient Greek goddess Athena, known for her strategic prowess and association with the owl, a symbol of protection. I would rewrite that sentence a little bit, but I like the way it's going. The composition unfolds with a bold 16th note based theme characterized by harmonically rich perfect fifths. That doesn't make sense. Harmonically rich perfect fifths. Maybe harmonically characterized by perfect fifths, something like that. This theme evolves as Marimba 1 introduces a new motif, maintaining an undercurrent of relentless 16th notes that propel the piece forward. A contemplative interlude follows where both marimbas engage in soft rolls, offering a brief respite before accelerating rhythms heighten the intensity. The piece culminates in a return to the initial themes, now in brisk variations, bringing the journey full circle. True. Central to the sonic tapestry is the use of perfect intervals, notably fifths and fourths, which infuse the composition with a sense of nobility and antiquity. Ah, antiquity. I like that word. These intervals echo the regal nature of the owl and the wisdom embodied by Athena. Okay. While these notes provide a general overview, the composition's intricacies lie in its unique rhythm patterns, melodic motifs, and textural shifts. Performers and listeners alike will discover the interplay of these elements, making Owl of Athena a nuanced exploration that goes beyond its initial captivating allure. Performers and listeners alike will discover the interplay. I don't like that last paragraph, but I like the rest of it. So why don't we go with it? We'll rewrite some of this. Because not all of it makes perfect sense to me. Okay, Owl of Athena is a marimba duet crafted to captivate audiences with its vibrant flair while remaining accessible for concert settings. I want to rewrite this sentence. Crafted to captivate audiences with its vibrant flair while remaining accessible. Meaning maybe just getting rid of remaining accessible for a concert setting. Owl of Athena is a marimba duet crafted to captivate audiences. Audiences. That's very ChatGPT, what it's saying. Captivate audiences. Like I feel like it says that sort of thing a lot. Owl of Athena is a marimba duet crafted to be inspired, crafted to Enthrall. Yeah, I like that. To enthrall. And I don't even know that I want to specify for audiences. Owl of Athena is a marimba duet crafted to enthrall with its vibrant flair for a concert setting. The piece draws inspiration from a serendipitous encounter with a majestic owl during a crucial rehearsal for a marching band competition. As the owl soared overhead in the twilight, its presence resonated with me on the ancient Greek goddess Athena. Its presence resonated with me. What's another word for bringing to mind? Um, let's see. Bringing to mind. Like evoking. Evoking the ancient Greek goddess Athena. As the owl soared overhead in the twilight, its presence resonated with me, evoking the ancient Greek goddess Athena. Known for her strategic prowess and association with the owl, a symbol of protection. The composition unfolds with a bold 16th note bass theme characterized by harmonically rich perfect fifths. Characterized by recurring perfect fifths. By the sonority of recurring perfect fifths. This theme evolves as Marimba 1 introduces a new motif, maintaining an undercurrent of relentless 16 notes that propel the piece forward. A contemplative interlude follows where both marimbas engage in soft rolls, offering a brief respite before accelerating rhythms heighten the intensity. The piece culminates in return to the initial themes, now in brisk variations, bringing the journey full circle. Central to the sonic tapestry is the use of perfect intervals, notably fifths and fourths, which infuse the composition with a sense of nobility and antiquity. These intervals echo the regal nature of the owl and the wisdom embodied by Athena. Sure. Okay. These are not tabs. Let's see. Okay. Let me save this. All right, let's assume that we're done. If I catch a mistake later on, since I'm putting this up digitally, I can always go in, edit it, and then re-upload like a new version. So that's what we'll do just in case. But let's assume that I'm super happy with this, which I am. I am happy with it. Actually, before we leave, let me check the performance notes. 2 5-octave marimbas are ideal, though both parts may be played with 4.5-octave marimbas. Notes outside of the range may be taken up by an octave, and the general effect should remain the same. If only one 5-octave marimba is available, it is preferred that the marimba 2 player uses it. Liberties with tempo can be taken from rehearsal letter F to rehearsal letter G. Notes that cross into an adjacent staff are for ease of reading and do not necessarily denote which hand or mallet to use. Okay. Now I'll hit save. And what we'll do is we'll export this as a PDF. All spreads, actually all pages like this. Then we'll export. And what we're going to call this, let's go into the proper part. I'm going to make a new folder called Score and Parts Owl of Athena. Create. And we're going to call this the same thing that the original was called. However, this will be titled 00 full score Owl of Athena. And I don't think it's necessary that Owl of Athena be all capitalized like that. But that's how it will be. Exporting. Now, what we'll do is go back into the folder, and I'm going to copy this into here. So now, let me just rename these. So, Athena, Owl, Athena, Owl. Okay. So here's the way the folder is organized. Full score, marimba 1 part, marimba 2 part. When a person opens this folder for the first time, presumably it will be ordered alphabetically. And so this makes it so that the score is the first part, and then each part under that is ordered the way it should be inside of the folder. I would do the same thing if it were like like an orchestral score or something. Score would be 00, like numbered 00. Flute would be 01, flute 2, 02, oboe 03, 04, 05, all the way down the page on the full score so that everything's organized that way. Okay. Final part of the process. Now that we have the score and parts in here, I'm not going to include anything else. I'm going to compress this. And so this zip file will be what the person who purchases the piece will download. So let's go back to Safari and let me get this not public. And what I'm going to do now is create the page. This is the backdoor, if you will, of my website. This is the music catalog, my music catalog page where I have all these pieces. I'm going to go into here. I have one that I've created. And I'm going to upload the file that we're going to use back to Twin Drummer Publishing catalog, Owl of Athena. And I will use this zip file that we just made, which is made up of this folder, Score and Parts, Owl of Athena. And it has these 3 files in there. Now, for I like to have the cover as the first image when you look at the product for the first time. And the featured image, or the image that will appear when you're scrolling through the catalog itself, I want to have a smaller version of the full thing. So I made this other project, which is called Owl of Athena Square cover. So I think this is an old version of it. Just to be sure, let me copy and paste Actually, no, I think everything's fine. It's just the picture of the owl looks a little, I don't know, wide or something here. Okay, this is a very big version of the owl icon, but obviously we're going to shrink it down. Okay, I think that looks good. So now we'll export this as a PNG because it's higher quality than a JPEG. Let's go back to Owl of Athena, and I have this folder called covers, and I'll save the Owl of Athena square cover inside of there. Back to our catalog page, my featured image will be upload file, covers, square cover. Okay. Now, to finish out the rest of the page, I exported the audio earlier. How long does Twin Drummer take to publish your work? I am Twin Drummer. So this is my own self-publishing company. It's just called Twin Drummer Publishing. And it takes as long as it takes me to do all this stuff, which is a lot, admittedly. Like it takes a lot of time. But I mean, if I'm not going to do it, then who will do it for me? No one. Listen to Owl of Athena. And then we're going to add an audio file here in Owl of Athena audio. And here it is, upload. We'll call this Owl of Athena. And the advantage, Universal Meditation, is I don't have to wait for anybody to publish my piece because it's up to me to publish it. But the downside of it, of I guess self-publishing in the first place, is that my overall reach is very limited. What I'm trying to do to get the pieces out there more familiar is to try and get someone to perform it and record it so that I can put it up, which is very useful. Okay, what if someone wants it printed out? So most of my pieces are marketed towards the education crowd. So for example, Owl of Athena would be performed by high school or college aged players. And the thing about the education market that's very convenient is that most schools have access to large, almost commercial size printers with all the paper that they could possibly want to print anything out. And like these printers are huge. I teach at a lot of schools, and it's never been a problem for me that they want their pieces out. However, that doesn't mean that I'm going to do it like this for forever, because I do eventually want to have physical copies of my music. I'd like to have a physical version of Owl of Athena out. What I haven't, I suppose, put in the time to figure out is what place to have this stuff printed out, and then how I'm going to have to ship. It shouldn't be complicated to print this other than the type of paper that's used. Most music is, there are unorthodox sizes of paper, and the types of paper isn't typical like copy paper. It's, different kinds of paper. A real good, printing place will have all of these kinds of papers available. Or I can provide the paper myself if I buy it from a paper seller. and then I have to ship it. So all of those things eat up into the profit margins, if you will. Digitally, the only thing I pay for is the commission for the website that I use, and that's it. Otherwise, um, it works out like that. So that's sort of the pros and cons for what I'm doing. Like I mentioned, this is digitally, but most of these are for schools, which makes it more manageable than if it was like an individual who wanted to purchase it or something like that. Now, if it was like a huge symphonic score, I would want to print that out and have it out physically. So long-winded answer, but these are all, considerations that I've had for sure in the past. Okay, what I'm doing right now is making up the rest of the page. So I have the audio track right here that someone can click on if they want to listen to the piece. Little instrumentation thing. So for example, let me take this away, go to my own website. This is my website. And if I go to the catalog and I click on a piece, so I have the difficulty up here, the duration, and a quick little description, and then I specify how it's going to be delivered. So scoring parts are whatever size they are, can be scaled, printed, and will be delivered digitally. So that's important information to have. And then whatever price it is, add to cart button, and then a few pictures down here. Underneath all that, I have the audio track here, an instrumentation list, and then the program notes, and then finally my logo at the bottom, and then that makes up the full page of what I make. So for instrumentation, we're gonna bold this. Is that what I do? I'll assume yes. Marimba 1, Marimba 2. Then I'm gonna have another text box here. Program notes. Do I include a colon? No, I don't. New text box. Let's go back to Affinity Publisher, just to copy what we have made previously. Okay, so there are program notes, instrumentation. Include a spacer right there. Okay, let me see how this looks. Well, actually, I can't see how it looks without. The artwork on your scores are nice. Thank you. They always say that if you want to be successful, to play into your unfair advantages, and every single person has an unfair advantage they have over someone else, whether that be where you were born or how much money you have or how privileged you are, things like that. But everyone has something. One of my unfair advantages is that my dad is an award-winning professional graphic designer. And if I have a piece that I want, like a cool cover for, I'll just ask him like what my idea is and if he can make one, and he makes it super fast like that, completely for free. So I don't have to worry about it. So many of these he designed. This one, Sunday Strollin', this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. And then if I think I can create it myself, then I will, just to not like bother him. So this one right here, I made a long blue line. The checkmate one I made. This Requiem for a Rhino one, I didn't design this right here, but I did find this painting online, and I reached out to the artist because I really loved it and wanted to use it as the cover for my piece. So I asked if I could license it from him. I paid him a certain amount of money, and he let me use it, which I'm super grateful for. And stuff like this background. The piece is called Checkmate, but like this photo I didn't take, but I found it online and was able to license it. Same with Owl of Athena. I made this cover, so I made the background and everything. But this icon of the owl, or like the owl's face, I found online and licensed so that I could, and bought a license so that I could use it on here fairly. And no one will come after me or sue me because it is very legal what I'm creating here. Okay, so I have my difficulty, hard, which hard. Ideal for high school or collegiate players. For the little small description, maybe I'm not going to include the whole program notes, but I'm going to include some of it as a little thing. And then what I'll do is copy score and parts are 8.5 by 11 PDFs and will be delivered digitally. Okay, Owl of Athena is a marimba duet crafted to enthrall with some vibrant flair for a concert setting. Oh, you know what? Let me specify that you don't necessarily need two octave marimbas. Two 5-octave marimbas are ideal, though both parts may be played with 4.5 octave marimbas. Notes outside of the range may be taken up by an octave, and the general effect should remain the same. If only one of 5-octave marimbas is available, just refer that the marimba 2 player uses it. And let me specify that over here as well. Owl of Athena is a marimba duet. Oh, instrumentation. Marimba 1, 5-octave, 4.5 octave. How do they specify that? Playable on a 4.5 octave marimba. Okay, I think that specifies it. Okay, Owl of Athena is a marimba duet crafted to enthrall with vibrant flair for a concert setting. The piece draws inspiration from our encounter with the majestic owl during a crucial rehearsal for marching band competition. As the owl soared overhead in the twilight, its presence evoked the ancient Greek goddess Athena, known for her strategic prowess and association with the owl, a symbol of protection. The composition unfolds with a bold 16th note bass theme, characterized Okay. Final thing we have to do is add some pictures. And what I'm going to do is open an application called Permute. Permute is this fantastic app that just converts one type of file to a different type of file. So if you need to convert a WAV file to an MP3 file, you can do it. If you need to convert, in my case, PDFs into images, it can do that. So let's go to the folder where it is. I'm just going to select, I'm going to find the full score, open it in here. And now it's created images out of all of the pages from the score. And just so we have some organization going on here, let me move the JPEGs out of this folder. and into a new folder called images. Okay, so there they are. So the first thing that I'll add is the first page of the score with a watermark, right? Not in this case. I'm fine with having the first page or one or two pages that are like distantly related without a watermark. It does have the copyright information at the bottom of the full page, though. So if people wanna try me, then I have at least something to back me up. Okay, let's go into that images folder, and I'll select the first page here, which is now a JPEG. Upload. And I'm also going to include the first pages of the other two parts. Seems like it's done it. Let's go back and organize ourselves again. Marimba 1 and Marimba 2 pages. Cool. Very quick. Images. Okay. Upload file. We're looking for 01. Here it is. And then Marimba 2, first page. So hopefully with the combination of the audio, the first page of the score, the first page of these two parts, someone who's considering it has enough information whether they want to actually do it or not. And I think, yeah, duration about 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Let me just make sure it matches. So in the score, I have 4 minutes and 30 seconds. So let me change that on the 4 minutes, 30 seconds. It seems like you're here, Universal Meditation. Now it is up to me to decide how much to sell this for. I am debating between $30 or $35. And this is all based on market research. So marimba duets tend to go for about this range. I've seen one for like that lasts about 8 minutes, which is $40 for a marimba duet. 40. Mine isn't 8 minutes, it's 4.5. So I don't know if I should deduct $5 from 40 or $10 from 40. Other pieces on my, so I've made a few sales of this one, March of the Squirrels, which is for 5 players, only 2.5 minutes long for middle schoolers. So it's an easy piece, and that goes for 30. Or this other piece, very easy, 2 minutes long, so slightly shorter, but it's for way more players, 11 instead of 5. So that makes the price go up to 35, or at least that's what I determined for myself. So 2 players, 4.5 minutes. So that's some decent length to it. And it's also a difficult piece, and that ups the price a little bit as well. But it's not quite at the 40 mark that I've seen other pieces go for that are longer, around the same difficulty as this. So I don't know. For whoever's watching, tell me $30 or $35, whatever you think. And I'm going to try to rack my brain about what I should go for as well. 30 or 35. That's all you. Yeah, I know. It's just a $5 difference, but it, you know, has to be consistent, and also has to be a competitive price. And this is about how much something like this goes for. So let me do some more research. Like, for example, a well-known publisher is JW Pepper. If I'm looking for, where can I find like percussion? Percussion duets. Let's say this is, let's say it's advanced. Oh, this one goes for 35. This one goes for 1750. This one goes for 25, 26, 32. 32 is also an option. I see 32 a lot. 975. No, I worked too hard on this. 29, 25. I like having round numbers. So I usually don't go for like 29 or something. It's just like 30. Sequoia, 50. I have a piece that goes for 50. I'm going to say 30. Or do I want 35? I think it will look more credible at 35, but if it is a duet, do you think the players would purchase 2 copies? And do 30 to help with that? That's a good point. Not quite a goat. If a person, for example, if 2 high school kids wanted to play this, they could each contribute $15 if they wanted to buy it on their own, and that's a nice like equal number there. So just for all those things considered, I'll say let's do it at 30. Um, okay. So we'll do it at 30. Everything's to me seems good. Let me add some tag words just so that it helps with discoverability. I find that a lot more than I would think, like more traffic than I would think comes from Google searches than direct hits from when I, have my website like link out there. Because maybe people look something up and then one of my options pops up and they click on it. So for these keywords, I'll just start adding words. Marimba ensemble, percussion ensemble, percussionist, marimba, marimbas, marimba duet. So if someone's looking for a marimba duet on Google, hopefully mine would pop up. Marimba duo. Oops. Let's come up with adjacent tag words as well, like vibraphone, marimba duet, marimba solo, even though it's not a solo, it's just, like these tags don't pop up, but they'll hopefully help with SEO. You know what I mean? Let me cut down the URL. Owl of Athena. I like that. Okay, let's consider this all done. So I'm going to hit public and save. That means that if you go to ernestocomposer.com/catalog, Owl of Athena for Marimba Duo should be here for $30. Beautiful. It looks lovely. Owl of Athena for Marimba Duo. Difficulty, hard, ideal for high school or collegiate players. Duration, 4 minutes, 30 seconds. Little description. Scoring parts will be delivered digitally. $30. Different images. You can listen to it. Instrumentation, program notes. Oh, I almost forgot to add my what's it called? Publishing logo. I've uploaded it previously, so it should be. There it is. Add. That'll be way too big on the actual page. So I can add these little spacers to center it, and it'll make it smaller too. Okay. Apply, save. So now if you go to ernestocomposer.com/catalog, you can click on Owl of Athena. There it is. There's my publishing logo right there. And it works. Should there be a space between the program notes and the instrumentation here? Not that it matters too much, but you know, these details matter, or at least I think they do. So let's add a spacer here. And how about a spacer here? And let's see what that looks like. It doesn't have to be super big. Apply. Save. Whenever I publish something, there's always something that I think of after the fact. Okay, that is too much. So let me get rid of them. I have to say, I'm super glad that I have this out. Each time that I publish something new, I'm just like, finally, yes. And then I have to try and do it again next month. And if I don't make it next month, then the month after. But this is part of trying to build something for yourself. And all the writing has been done, the editing, the proofreading, the packaging, the artwork design, and the work to put it up. Now people have to actually know about it and play it. So I have to hit up teacher friends that I know, or other percussionists, or you know, get it out on Facebook or on Instagram and stuff like that. So there's a whole marketing thing that goes into it as well that I still kind of need to figure out and get better at. Did I do the thing that I said I was going to do? No. Additional info. And that's the disadvantage of self-publishing, that you don't have that kind of reach. Although even if you are with a big publisher, they're not necessarily going to market these things for you. They just will have it on their massive catalog of thousands and thousands of other pieces, and they'll take 90% of your sales. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. I'll look at it again in the future, and if I see something really suspect, then I'll go in and fix it 100%. But Owl of Athena is finally out. So time to go do that marketing thing that I just said. Okay, so I'm going to leave this at that. Thanks so much, everybody who tuned in, for hanging out with me while I bring this piece to the public. And I'm not sure if I would compose on stream. Um, but maybe I would. It's not like so distracting to have a live stream going, as I thought maybe it would be. I mean, there are only 3 people watching right now, so it's not like it's that crazy anyway. But I enjoyed it and I had fun. It's getting dark out. Fortunately, it doesn't look like I'm too dark. I'm looking at myself down there, but we'll call it at that. Thanks so very much for being here. I really appreciate it, and I hope you stop by for the next live stream, whenever that may be. So I really appreciate it, and as always, take care.